Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be going over your tropical storm Isaias, and we're going to be giving you an update on that. Now this is going to be tracking up the east coast, and it's going to be impacting parts of the southeast, the mid-Atlantic, and the northeast with some pretty heavy rain, as well as some gusty winds, and some potential flash flooding. So we're going to be going over that in today's video, as well as my personal hurricane intensity forecast, as well as my personal storm track forecast for the storm. Now, before we do get into it, I do want to say thank you for 500 subscribers. I just really want to thank all of you guys who did subscribe, and if you didn't subscribe, be sure to subscribe because I do these videos daily, and I really do enjoy making these videos, and I hope you guys also enjoy me making these videos, and I will continue to make these videos, and I'm just really happy for the support that you guys have been giving me recently. So here is your current National Weather Service page and your watches and warnings. We have red flag warnings and excessive heat warnings and heat advisories for parts anywhere from Idaho and Wyoming southward into California and Arizona, and then all up the east coast from Maine to about off the coast of Florida. We do have tropical storm watches in this pinkish shade. We have tropical storm warnings in this dark red shade. Storm surge warnings for parts of the coastal North Carolina region. We also have flood watches underneath those and also around those regions to the west of the storm track for the most part, where you could see up to 5 or 6 or maybe even 7 or 8 inches of rainfall out of this storm. So we definitely have a very big and very impactful storm. We have a storm that's moving all the way up the east coast, and it's going to be impacting every state from Florida to Maine. So it is going to be definitely a very large storm that I am going to be tracking with you guys. Now, here is the current 5-day graphical outlook from the National Hurricane Center. We have Isaias right here, which is off the coast of northern Florida, and then we have a disturbance, which currently has a 40% chance of developing within the next 48 hours and a 60% chance within the next 5 days of developing. Now, here is currently Invest 94 LM, where it currently is. It's currently at 23.5 degrees north by about 63.7 degrees west, and it has sustained winds of about 25 knots or so. Now, here is the current intensity guidance for the storm, and most of these models, about half of them, bring this to a tropical storm, and all those models that bring it to a tropical storm also bring it to or very close to a Category 1 system by the end of this week. So I'll definitely be keeping up to date with this, and I'll definitely be keeping you guys up to date with this. And we could potentially be talking about Tropical Storm Josephine, which would be our next named storm, and also we would break the record of the earliest J named storm by about 15 or so days from the previous record. So definitely we are on track to be a record-breaking season, and it's been a hyperactive season so far. Now, here is currently where Isaias is located, and it's located at 30.2 degrees north and 80.1 degrees west with a sustained wind of about 60 knots and a minimum pressure of about 999 millibars, which did actually raise from previous. Yesterday it was in the high 980s, and now it's in the high 990s, which means that this is a weakening storm as it starts to move over some wind shear and starts to interact a little bit more with land. Now, here is your key messages for Tropical Storm Isaias, and I'm not going to read these out, but if you do want to, you can pause the video right here or go to hurricanes.gov and go read their key messages on the National Hurricane Center's website. Now, here is the current watches and warnings for Isaias. We actually have some hurricane warnings in effect for parts of the Carolinas. We have some tropical storm warnings in effect for parts anywhere from northern Florida to about Connecticut and Long Island, and then we have some tropical storm watches for parts of Maryland and also for anywhere from Maine to about easternmost Connecticut. There we also have some tropical storm watches in effect for those regions. Now, let's start looking at your cone of uncertainty from the National Hurricane Center. They have this strengthening actually into a hurricane over the next couple of hours, and then it's going to weaken to a tropical storm as it starts to move over the Carolinas, most likely making impact anywhere from about Myrtle Beach, South Carolina to Wilmington, North Carolina, and then it's going to be moving up through the mid-Atlantic coast, and then it's going to be making impact with parts of Virginia, Maryland, Delaware, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, moving throughout the Northeast, and staying as a tropical storm all the way until it hits somewhere north of the Canadian border. That's when it should weaken to a tropical depression by about Wednesday afternoon into Thursday morning. Now, here is your past observed winds from the storm, and we actually did have a large area of tropical storm winds and hurricane winds as well into the Bahamas. Now, here is your probability of seeing tropical storm wind speeds, and over parts, especially over the coastal regions, we have a decent chance anywhere from the Carolinas, which has a near 100% chance, to parts of the mid-Atlantic coast, which has about a 70 to 90% chance as well. So we have a very good chance. For the Northeast, it starts to go down a little bit, where for even inland regions we still have about a 30 to 60% chance of that occurring, and as you get into northern New England, you could see potentially a 5 to 30% chance of tropical storm winds. Now, here's your chances of seeing 58 mile per hour wind speeds, and we actually do have a decent chance as well for this over especially the immediate coastal regions. As you get a little bit further inland, it starts to decrease to about a 5 to 30% chance for inland regions. Now, here is your hurricane force wind speed probabilities, and we have about a 10 to 20% chance of that offshore of Georgia and South Carolina. Now, here is your storm surge forecast from the National Hurricane Center, and we do have about 3 to 5 feet of storm surge expected over parts of northeastern South Carolina and southeastern parts of North Carolina as well. So definitely some very, very high storm surge, and definitely make sure that you are prepared for the storm and that you do know you have a plan for evacuation if that is necessary. Now, here is your rainfall totals from the Weather Prediction Center over the next 3 days from Isaias alone, not any other storms that are going to move through. And we have about a 4 to 6 inch region that moves all the way from South Carolina to New Jersey, and some speckled spots of 4 to 6 inches all the way throughout New England. But we have also two areas, or a couple main areas of 6 to 10 inches of rainfall. One there for eastern Maryland right here, and another one for parts of the Carolinas, and just speckled throughout parts of South Carolina and Virginia there, where you have generally 6-inch rainfall amounts. And this is probably going to be one of the more widespread rain events that you've seen up to this point in the year for the East Coast, where you're going to see all the way from the Carolinas to New England, you could see 4 to 6 inches of rainfall. So that's definitely going to be probably the biggest threat with this is going to be the rainfall, especially for the mid-Atlantic and the Northeast. For the Southeast, probably the most impactful thing out of this storm is going to be the winds that come out of it. Now, here is your chances of flash flooding, and for today, we have a 20 to 50% chance within that red region for South Carolina and North Carolina, and then for the rest of the Southeast and Mid-Atlantic, a 10 to 20% chance, and then for tomorrow and then into Wednesday morning, we have about a 20 to 50% chance of that occurring, and then a 10 to 20% chance in the yellow region, which covers anywhere from North Carolina to Maine, New Hampshire, and Vermont. Now, here's my personal forecast, and this is currently off the shore of Georgia, and it's going to be making its way further to the north over the Carolinas, and then our cone starts to widen a little bit. This does have the slim chance that it can go offshore, but most models bring this onshore and keep the heaviest rainfall to the west of this. So anywhere from where the system tracks to the west of it is really where you're going to see the heaviest rains that are going to be about 4 to 6 inches or even locally higher amounts. Now, here is your hurricane intensity forecast for the storm, and currently it is a high-end tropical storm, potentially just touching Category 1 status, and then moving back down to a weaker tropical storm as you get into tomorrow and the day after, and then as you get into Thursday and Friday, that's when it's most likely going to be a tropical depression or a very, very weak tropical storm by that point. Now, that is going to wrap it up for today's video. Please consider liking the video, subscribing, and turning on notifications, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.